Okay, let's look at a dialogue. Very simple one first. What is it? There you go. Do you what color would you? Okay. Green, please. What size are you? Large, medium, or small? I don't know. I think I'm a medium. How about this one? Yes, it's very nice. Would you like to try it on? Yes, please. Oh dear, it only has 2. What do you think? Well, whatever. Now, the point is, well, what is the point if there is one? Anything you notice about the dialogue? It's conventional at this stage, okay? The alien's not conventional, but the dialogue is, if you like, it's, very simple, basic. This is the very beginning of book 1, book 1 of Communicate, okay? So, do you have, what color would you like, large, medium, or small? Would you like to try it on? These are conventional kind of shopping patterns, okay? But there's a difference, which you don't, because you can't see the whole unit, but I'll show you this in a minute. That I was explaining that Communicate and Motivate have a structure base, okay? But one of the things which is important, I think, is to integrate situations with the structures, okay? So that when students learn a pattern, they can also see how they can apply it, so that the dialogues, the functional dialogues, actually apply the structural targets of the unit, okay? So that the two are completely integrated, okay? So if, for example, you want to, you learn a pattern like, would you like or how about, then immediately you put it into a dialogue, okay? And then it's not just a sort of academic pattern that you learn. It's you can see how it can be applied. So one of the things I've tried to do in Communicate is to integrate structures and situations. Let's try another one. This is from Motivate. What's the... Yes, it could be what's the problem. It just happens to be what's the matter, but there are lots of possibilities. What's the matter? My eye hurts when I drink coffee. So what do you think the structural target is? Yeah, so it's when clauses. The structural target is when clauses. What do you think the situational target is? At the doctor, okay. Now, so if you can imagine that a kind of a basic at the dialogue, at the doctor dialogue is, for example, what's the matter? I have a headache, okay? And then the students will learn things, or stomach ache, headache, that kind of thing. But how about this? If we actually put a when clause into at the doctor dialogue, then the students can actually say, I get a headache when I get up in the morning, rather than just, I get a headache, okay? So here we have application of a when clause. Now the student can actually say more about their situation. The grammar is not just grammar, it's useful. It's not just, an academic exercise. Well, actually, now I can express myself better because I learnt this particular pattern. And I think that motivates students, if we can get that message across that the structure, yes, structure is important, but it's not just academic. It actually has practical application. You can now communicate better because you know this structure. So my eye hurts when I drink coffee. Does it hurt when you drink tea? Now again, so when clause. Now there's a kind of review target here as well. What do you think it is? So yes, sometimes. So the review target is adverbs of frequency. So watch out what I've tried to do with dialogue, introduce a new target, but also review a previous target effectively. So how about when you drink orange juice? No, it never... It never hurts when I drink orange. So far we've got sometimes and never. Okay. Now, is the pain? Here's another. We got sometimes, never. Here's another one. Is the pain always in your eye? No, I sometimes get a pain in my nose, but it's usually in my eye. Now we've covered them, I hope. All right. So, okay, take one of these tablets. Again, we've got three frequency, 3 times a day, and take, sorry about that. No, well, of course, humor is important. So a lot of it's integrating all of these things together, isn't it, I think? It's like we need the structure base for these kinds of students, I think. We need to show the application of the structure in situations, but we also want the students to relax, have a lot of fun while they're doing it. Because a lot of the reason why these students may not be able to communicate is simply often they haven't been seeing English as a fun, relaxed thing to get involved in. Let's now, some people say, well, humor actually, some people argue, a lot of people argue, I often hear this argument that humor gets in the way. For example, sometimes I have many comments from teachers say, yeah, but they don't get the joke. And I would say, that's the point. You don't want them to get the joke until they've thought about it. A lot of it is all about the best, I think the best textbook joke is a joke they don't get too quickly, but they will get after struggling with it, with your hints. Because while they're struggling with it, they're turning it upside down in their head, and they're grappling with this language, okay? That's the beauty of humor. It allows you to do that, okay? So the ideal textbook joke is a joke which they don't get too quickly, but with your hints, with your help, they will get. So when they're thinking about it. I'll show you something. Now, in Communicate and Motivate, they're not all aliens or cavemen. There are some real people there. Now, what it is that the main characters of Communicate and Motivate are a group of students who, from different countries, who are studying English together. Okay, there's Manuel and Carmen from Mexico. The teacher's David, sorry about that, and Paula from Brazil, and Kim from Korea. There are different. This is actually an earlier version. We use full names. I'm sorry about. I've got an earlier version on this PowerPoint. I'm sorry about that. But this is and there's Ronnie, who's actually one of my dogs. I put them in all the books. So I have 3 dachshunds at home. And Motivate, the characters, as you can see, the style is a bit different because it's a little bit more, the level is a bit higher. And but it's the same group of characters, but with some more characters added. There's Amel from Turkey, Sunny from Thailand, and there's 1 or 2 more characters. Now, in the book, these characters, most of the dialogues involve these characters, and it's a story of how these characters are interacting. And Communicate, Motivate is kind of basically 1 year later than Communicate in terms of the story. The colours are a little bit strange on here, but you can see them in the sample. This is an example right at the beginning of Communicate 1, but Unit 2 of Communicate 1, again, where the title in this case is like, so, do you live in Seoul? No, I live on Jeju Island. Do you like it? Yes, very much. Okay? It's very quiet. I don't like big cities. They're so noisy and dirty. So this is a example of how you notice that it's warm-up, dialogue, personalization. And I completely agree about the comprehension part because I haven't put it on the page because this is really for the student. But in the teacher's book, which is a free download, by the way, in the teacher's book, there's lots of ideas for comprehension checking as we're going through. But it's not just comprehension checking, it's comprehension personalization. Let's choose... yeah, okay. Let's give an example. Okay, so big cities are noisy and dirty. Okay. Does he think big cities are exciting and dangerous? No. So what does he ask him? So what does he think of big cities?
Big cities.
Okay.
So I'm he.
Yeah. So he thinks.
Oh, he thinks they're only noisy and dirty.
Okay.
Nothing else.
So what do you think?
What do you think about it?
Of big cities.
What do you think about big cities?
I think that. Okay, that's great. So this is what. This is a simple, typical comprehension personalization. So when we check comprehension, we don't leave it on the page. Okay? When we check comprehension, we immediately put it into the student's life. This is the sort of thing which is there for many, many ideas for doing this kind of thing in the teacher's book. So it's not just true or false or yes or no. Notice that the first question elicited a negative answer. Why? Why is that a good thing? Because if you answer yes, what's the problem?
It stops.
You stop. There's no more conversation. So if you answer no, now we can go somewhere. Okay? Now we can take it somewhere. So these kind of things are important for what even when we're doing what conventionally would be considered to be perhaps boring exercises, they can be made alive with simple adjustments to maybe conventional techniques. Just there's no for example. He thinks big cities are noisy and dirty. True or false? It's not communicative at all. Okay? That's right. It's boring and not communicative. So it's like how to check comprehension. But this kind of thing is all in the teacher's book. Notice that we got warm-up, dialogue, personalization. Personalization is ways to extend. But this at first sight might look a bit like PPP, but it's not PPP. Because, this idea that we should first teach in a controlled way, then in a semi-controlled way, and finally personalize is not what this book is all about. In this book, it's first we should personalize, then we should personalize, and finally we should personalize. In other words, it's all about bringing the language out of the book into the student's life. But a lot of it, warm-ups bring this book out into students' lives. The comprehension checking brings it into students' lives. And the personalization section, of course it does. Now, each unit has 6 pages. This is the first page. The second page is the same format. Warm-up, dialogue, personalization. But the language target is taken a step further. So in this case, now we've got choices. Do you like the countryside or big cities again? Well, I live in Mexico City. It's very big and noisy, but I love it. Why? Again, reasons. Choices and reasons. Okay, so we're taking it a stage further. Now, the third page of a unit focuses on language targets. It may be a bit difficult to read here, but you've got adjectives, so you can give reasons more easily. Okay, and this is just the fourth page of the unit is where these kind of humorous characters are introduced. There's the alien. That alien, by the way, is called Achu. Can you guess why he's called Achu? Why is the alien called Achu? He sneezes. When he arrives at the immigration desk, when he's arriving on the earth, he sneezes. So what's your name? Achu. And, how do you spell Achu? Could you repeat that, please? so you and he's from planet Achu. So it's very silly, but anyway, the students tend to like it. But these are the crazy characters, and you might enjoy